New reports are detailing a previously unknown meeting between President Biden's personal doctor and a specialist on Parkinson's disease. According to White House visitor logs, Parkinson's expert Dr. Kevin Cannard met with White House physician Dr. Kevin O'Connor back on January 17th. That date's important. Remember it, January 17th. He also reportedly visited at least 10 times since 2022. Well, earlier this morning, President Biden said he had a full neurological exam back in February, just weeks after that reported meeting.
In terms of my neurological capacity, I had a physical, a neurological physical as well in February. It's released. I released all my records, all of them. And I have a neurological test every single day. Try sitting behind this desk and making these decisions. You know it. Both of you know it. They know it. I'm not bad at what I do. And now, it doesn't mean I never make a mistake. I do. But I'm making those decisions.
And interestingly, Biden refused to say if he's been tested for Parkinson's.
Have you been tested for any age-related illnesses, pre-Parkinson's, or anything like that that might explain sort of having a night like that where you couldn't finish sentences?
Look, I had before, I was feeling so badly before the debate. When I came back, they tested me for, I thought maybe I had COVID, maybe there was something wrong. I had an infection or something. They tested me, they gave me those tests, I was clear. So, but look, I had a bad night. But the fact of the matter is, look at what I'm doing. I mean, let me put it this way. If there was something that was wrong that night, it's not like it comes and that's one night and it goes away. That's why I've been out. I've been testing myself, been testing everywhere I go, going out and making the case.
Let's bring in New York Post political reporter Jon Levine. He broke the story about Biden's doctor meeting with a Parkinson specialist. You know, John, I saw this, first of all, great reporting Saturday morning. You had to have scrupulously gone through all of the visitor logs. That could not have been easy to find this. But what do you make of January 17th? The Parkinson's expert goes to the White House, and we just heard from Biden that he had this neurological test in February, he says.
Right. Well, this is really one of those stories where there's more questions than answers. What we know is that on the 17th of January this year, it was Dr. Kevin Cannard, a noted Parkinson's expert at Walter Reed Hospital. There was also a cardiologist at the White House that day, John Atwood, and they both met in the White House residence clinic with Dr. Kevin O'Connor, who, as you noted, is the president's physician. And I think, you know, the president's physician is the physician to the president. He doesn't treat other people. His primary responsibility is the president. There was a fourth person in the meeting, according to the visitor logs, and we don't know who that person was, and the White House won't tell us. Now, we knew, because I remember when President Biden released his physical report in February, it talked about how he had a neurological exam, and Parkinson's was specifically mentioned, and they said he didn't have it. So, I mean, the obvious question is, was Dr. Cannard in the White House, you know, doing the test on President Biden at that time? And I think it's, you know, there are questions about whether Dr. O'Connor has been part of a cover-up. If you read the article, Ronnie Jackson, who was the physician to President Obama and President Trump, says he believes Dr. O'Connor is part of a cover-up. And so I think going forward, I really want to hear from Kevin Cannard, the physician in the White House who came in from Walter Reed. What was he doing there? And why did he come 10 times, as you noted, from 2022 onward? Those meetings were not with Dr. O'Connor, but Walter Reed Medical Center does not treat low-level officials. He would not be coming in for a house call for an intern. So as I said, more questions and answers. I still want to know more, and I hope the White House is forthcoming.
These are huge questions, and I do want to put the White House response in here because they noted to you a wide variety of specialists from the Walter Reed system visit the White House complex to treat thousands of military personnel. That doesn't hold water for me. And here's why. I mean, I know the White House physician during the Trump tenure. I watched him. I didn't have access to him. He only treated Trump. If I needed something, I had to go to the White House medical unit, totally separate. Right. So you talked to Dr. Jackson about that point specifically. This would have to be the first family, correct?
It's not impossible that Dr. O'Connor could treat someone else. You know, he was told if you're on Air Force One and a cabinet secretary has an emergency, you know, Dr. O'Connor might get involved and could deliver a prescription. But the primary responsibility is President Biden. And that's how it should be. You know, the commander-in-chief needs his own or her own physician that takes care of them and makes sure they're okay. Dr. O'Connor sees President Biden every single day. He actually told a trade publication, that his most important job was saying good morning to the commander-in-chief every single day to make sure the country gets off on the right foot.
John, yeah, it's unbelievable. Just a few moments here, but Delaware, we do not have visitor logs from Delaware, where President Biden is quite often. Would it be helpful to your reporting if Karine Jean-Pierre facilitated access for you to those visitor logs?
Absolutely. I mean, I'm about transparency, and this White House just has not been transparent. And, what tests the president has been receiving, and as someone said here earlier, what did they know and when did they know it? These are going to be the questions that come to the fore as this story continues. And this is not going to go away. And I expect Karine Jean-Pierre and the next press conference to be asked about Dr. Kennard. I hope she is. And I hope she provides a more fulsome answer than what we got on Saturday.
Wow. So the White House press briefing today, because reporters watch us, what questions specifically would be helpful to you for them to ask?
What was Dr. Kennard doing there? Who was the fourth person in the meeting at the White House clinic on January 17th?
Well, I'll be looking at the transcript, watching live, seeing if they ask it. Jon Levine, dogged reporting. Thank you. We'll keep following.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.